everybody, welcome back to another video with Cat about Raid Shadow Legends. Today, we're talking about Donatello Fusion, how it went for me, and things that changed, and my thoughts for the upcoming events that are going on for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle event that is going on for the next few months. Shut up, phone! Before we get into all of that, right now is a great time to start playing Raid Shadow Legends, especially because I've got new champions for you. We always have Corrado Foxhunter the Legendary, who you'll get instantly upon creating your account, but then you get Yugo as an epic support at level 15, and then you get Lady Annabelle at level 30, and then, ladies and gentlemen, you get Deacon Armstrong at level 40. So he's one of my favorite champions in this whole game, and now I can give him away for free. And then you have to use the promo code Monkey King in the first 48 hours of creating your account. And then you start your account with 2 legendaries, 3 epics, and 3 of those epics are insanely helpful, 2 of which I use all the time in a bunch of different areas. They're huge for dungeons and clan boss, like the crazy helpful champions. So I'm super excited that I can give them away, especially Deacon Armstrong. Like, he was game changing. I got him, I want to say in like the first month of playing, and he's amazing. Plus, when you start your account, you get, after a week of logging in for free, so 7 days, doesn't have to be consecutive, just log in for 7 days, and you will get Michelangelo, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then you'll get his Perfect Soul after 14 days of logging in. I just got him. I haven't upgraded him just yet because there have been a lot of fusions and a lot of characters coming through, but I will eventually get to a video where I talk about all the turtles together, all of them doing their stuff. Speaking of, let's talk about that. So this was the Fragment event calendar. So all the blue stars, I'd always kind of plan out the fusions when I get the event calendars. So all of the blue stars were places that I planned to get fragments from, and any X's with the white around them were places I did not plan. So there was a slight change, and we're gonna talk about that. Everything was going normal, but I ended up doing that gear enhancement event really early on. I didn't think I was going to have enough silver, but I went through all of my artifacts. I used a artifact optimizer kind of tool and basically sold off more than half of my artifacts and ended up with like 30 million silver. So I was like, well, since we're here, and plus since I had sold off a bunch of artifacts, I had taken advantage of the free gear removal that now exists permanently in the game. And I was re-gearing a bunch of champions, so that meant that there were a bunch of new pieces of gear that I wanted to level up, and it just happened. And it's okay. And I figured, you know, this will be helpful if later on I don't want to end up worrying about this, and it'll end up being fine. Actually, I am very proud that I chose not to do this Dungeon Diver event, because let me tell you, so the Dungeon Diver event, the first one didn't cross over with the Dragon Tournament, so those kind of missed each other same day. So then it was kind of that Dragon Tournament was just by itself. So there was like a weird awkward Tuesday and Wednesday where not a lot of stuff was happening. And so that Dungeon Diver event I just didn't bother doing at all. And I'm really glad because it also lined up awkwardly with the Fire Knight. It like barely crossed over with the Dragon. And Boomer was all frustrated, saying like, oh my god, I can't, like, there's nothing to do with this Dungeon Diver. It's such a pain. It doesn't have crossover. And I was like, yeah, I saw that and I knew I wasn't going to do that. So I'm very proud of myself for paying attention to these things. So the other thing, I thought, so every time there's a fusion, what happens? Boomer and I are out of town. So we went on our baby moon to Miami, which was very fun. Nice thing about being on a baby moon in Miami is that it's really hot and humid there and you don't want to be outside certain parts of the day or a majority of the day. So in that case, we ended up spending a lot of time in our hotel. We recorded a few videos and we ended up playing the game, or I would just have things like I would set up a bunch of multi-battles like on the Dragon Tournament or the Fire Knight Tournament, and they would just have them run while we were going around seeing alligators and doing all that other fun stuff. So it ended up not being that annoying of a thing while on the trip, because we planned the trip to not do a lot. Like, we wanted to be chill on that trip, and it ended up being very helpful for when we had this fusion going on. I know it seems kind of sad and weirdly dystopian that we were playing this and, you know, working and doing all that while we were on our trip, but we actually had fun doing it. So it ended up being a total success. We have Donnie. He's sitting here at 100 out of 100. I am not going to summon him now. I'm going to hang tight to him. He's just going to sit here because I don't need him right now. So this is kind of depends on you and your account and where you're at with the game. I have a ridiculous amount of champions that I need to upgrade right now. I'm working on masteries, and I have gear, and I have relics that I'm working on. All this other stuff, I don't have nearly anywhere near the amount of legendary skill tomes that I need for all the other legendaries that I have. And I can feel it like starting to pile up. So I don't have any incentive to open him right now. In fact, my incentive is to hang on to him until I get to a clan versus clan personal rewards, or in any of the upcoming events if they require, a champion chase event or tournament where you want to summon a legendary champion. I've got one sitting right there. So I'm going to hang on to Donnie. I am not going to summon him anytime soon. Now, here's what I do say. If you need a good legendary for Lizard Man, I saw some people on Reddit saying that they're saying they're one good Lizard Man away from beating Faction Wars or something like that. By all means, do that. Fuse him, enjoy him, all that great stuff. But I'm not really making that much crazy progress in Lizard Man. I don't have that incentive to finish it, and I don't care. And plus, I can't upgrade him as much as I want to for him to do what I want him to do. So he is just going to chill. But if you need a good legendary, if you started a new account recently and you ended up getting him, I would fuse him for sure. But Boomer and I were talking about this. There's a lot more to this game that requires like kind of forward thinking, like long-term strategy kind of stuff. And this is one of those instances. I'm just going to hang on to him until I need, 30,000 clan versus clan points. Or if I need some extra points for a boost, maybe for the Titan event that's going to be coming up soon. So speaking of, we are going to have a Titan event coming through from September 3rd to September 23rd. So it's almost a 3-week event, and you'll be able to get a bunch of stuff. You'll be able to get a 1-star, 3-star, or 5-star Perfect Soul for Donatello, plus a bunch of other rewards and a bunch of relics. So throughout this fusion, we're starting to see like pieces of the relics for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle events. And we've been able to see a lot of these relics. I haven't fused anything yet. That'll be its own thing when I get there. But we're going to be able to get relic pieces and some of the relics themselves, I believe. So there's going to be a lot of stuff coming in through there. So it looks like tomorrow, the day after this is posted, there is going to be a double the chance of getting 4, 5, and 6-star Perfect Souls from the Mortal Soul Stones. So if you have them stocked up, this might be a good time to use them. However, it does seem kind of like a bait event. There's no word on another event having a crossover. We don't know if it works with the Titan event. Frankly, when you're playing this game, you want to maximize your energy or use of resources. So, like, for example, there is a Prism Shard event that is coming through, that is currently running. The crystal offers go for a few days, and then you can still summon them the day after that. So typically what we do in the Prism Shard kind of event is we buy the crystals and then actually summon them on the last day, because typically they will do a champion chase or a summon event on that last day. And so then you get the most bang for your buck there, because you not only are you getting the actual champions, but you're feeding into event points as well. So it doesn't seem, I don't have a lot of incentive to do the double soul stones, because there's not another event that's coming through with it. There's just, it seems kind of like a bait to get people to use all their stuff, and then they need it later on for other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle events that are coming through. So I'm not going to be doing that. And speaking of the Prism Shards, I don't think I'm going to be doing the Prism Shards. Now, I'm very tempted. Don't get me wrong. I really like Leonardo sitting here. I really like Raphael sitting here. I really like Raphael. He's my favorite out of all of them. And plus, this is a chance to get April early on, and she looks really good for Arena, so I'm tempted, but I don't know. And with the Titan event coming through, that's more of an incentive for me to pay attention. Plus, I looked at the rest of the summon pool. I'm not that impressed with the other champions. Like, the only one I might need is Armina. She's super helpful. The rest of them I already have. Farakin I have. Deacon I have. You can get him for free with my account, or with my link in description. And then the rest of these, I'm not that impressed. This guy looks like an alligator that we saw while we were in Miami. His name was Louie, and he was a big boy. He was a wild alligator that came right up to the boat. He was squaring up with us. This is a clear whale bait kind of situation. If you want to get these champions and just spend for them and not have to worry about it, you can do that. There was a screenshot that I showed in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle event guide video. Now, so far, the first two have been accurate. So we are finishing up the Donatello fragment event right now. And then from what we can tell, so these were the dates that were presented, but it doesn't necessarily look like these can be accurate. Pay attention to Reddit and the Discord and look for all those other instances where you can get the news on these games, because this may not necessarily be accurate. So I just wanted to let you guys know that these dates and everything may not be exactly how it comes out in the game. It looks like a way that they would lay it out. Like, this is how I would lay out the events. I do think it's interesting that there's a big gap from September 3rd to October 7th. So maybe they're going to have some other event thrown in the middle. It's kind of a weirdly large gap in between them. So, I mean, part of that is the Donatello Titan event, but even that's from September, finishing up to September 23rd, and then all of a sudden October 7th. That's almost a 2-week break in between. I feel like there's going to be something else that pops in between. So keep in mind. So that's why I'm not going to be doing a lot with the Prism Shard events. That's why I'm not going to be doing a lot with the Soul Stone Awakening. I feel like there's something else coming. Plus, I've been, fusions are very draining. Plus, we've had 2 fusions back to back with the Crocat Throat Ripper and Packmaster Shayak, and then immediately into Ninja Turtles. I'm pretty drained right now, so I'm just going to take a breather for a little bit when it comes to fusion. We're going to do some other stuff in the game, but I will keep you guys updated as I learn more. So that's everything I have. Let me know down in the comments about Donatello. Did you get him? Did you not get him? Hopefully you did get him. And let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget, if you haven't already, get yourself Corrado Fox Hunter by using the link in my description. Get him instantly. Then you get Hugo at level 15. You get Lady Annabelle at level 30. And the wonderful Deacon Armstrong at level 40. And don't forget to use the promo code Monkey King to get Sun Wukong. And then log in for 7 days and get Michelangelo. So you can have all the turtles and join all the fun. But that's everything I have. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you in the next video.